Good morning and welcome. Today we are going to discuss SDG 12 in the series of Achieving Sustainable Development Goals, post pandemic correction is SDGs, and going to Moon, Mars, and beyond. What does SDG 12 talks about? It talks about sustainable production and not exploitation of resources to the extent that nothing is left for the next generation. It talks about sustainable need based consumption, not the greed based. Need versus greed. It talks about that. Then, now let us talk first the problems that were either created or got aggravated due to pandemic. And this has been collected from SDG reports 2017-18, 17, then 18, then 19, then 20 and 21, post pandemic, pre pandemic. First point is material footprint increased by more than 70% from 2000 till 2017, as per 2017 report. Globally, 1 million bottles of drinking water are bought per minute. 1 million bottle per minute drinking water. Worldwide, 5 trillion single-use plastic bags are thrown away per year. 5 trillion means 5,000 billion plastic bags thrown away per year. The best solution could be 5R, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. R1 is what? Best is to refuse. Take your bag, put the goods into that, come home. Next are reuse, recycle, reduce and remove. Next is electronic waste is proliferating. In 2018, e-waste generated was 50 million tons. In 2019, it was 53.6 million tons. By 2050, it could go, 2.5 times. Whopping 7.3 kilograms of e-waste is generated per capita, per person around the world, and is booming and mushrooming while only 1.7 kilogram gets recycled. Thus, 60% is not disposed of responsibly. Okay, now it is our responsibility. The best solution for e-waste management could not be implemented during pandemic. You can see because of lockdown. In fact, lot of e-waste was neither recycled nor could be reused nor we could do any measures due to lockdowns. Hence, post-pandemic correction is required. That is for sure. Next one. Fossil fuel subsidies are continuing through, though it decreased 21% since 2019 till now. However, if subsidies continued, then definitely citizens will keep using it, the poor people, and it will uh, cause the pollution. As due to pandemic, people cannot afford other fuels in developing countries because they are poor. I already said. So this pointer needs a relook because we definitely cannot achieve at par what we have decided till 2030 this particular target of subsidies. Now, what are the targets and indicators of SDG 12? Target 12.1, implementing the 10-year program on sustainable consumption and production. 10-year program. The developed countries should take responsibility for themselves and helping to pass on technologies to poor and least developed countries. Simple. Indicator 12.1.1, number of countries out of 193 nations which are at present United Nations member, planning and adopting and implementing the policy instruments aimed at sustainable consumption and production. Simple. Target 12.2, by 2030 achieving the sustainable management and efficiently use of natural resources without overconsumption or destroying the environment. I mean, need based, not grid based. Indicator 12.2.1, material footprint per capita, material footprint per GDP. Now indicator 12.2.2, domestic material consumption, again domestic material consumption per capita, and third one is domestic material consumption per GDP. Target 12.3, by 2030 Reducing per capita food waste at retail level, that should be halved in fact. Reducing the per capita food waste at consumption level, that also should be halved. Reducing the food losses during production itself should also be halved. Reducing the food losses in storage, logistics and supply chain, they also should be halved. And reducing the post-harvest losses, that also should be halved. That is the target 2030. So many pointers. Now, indicator 12.3.1. As per the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, United Nations, what is that? Per capita food waste retailer should be half. What is that? It measures the changes in the percentage losses of the basket of 10 main commodities, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inclusive and exclusive of the value chain. It includes the whole value chain, and there are other aspects as well. So inclusion and exclusive value chain by country in comparison with a base period, certain base period. For example, for the Sensex in India, that stock market, 1980 is taken as the base. Now, for full losses, they could take 200 and 2010 or 2020 or whatever it may be. They may start today, 2022. Food loss index and food waste index are the indicators. Target 12.4, by 2030, achieving the sound environmental management system like we have in ISO 14000 EMS for all inclusive lead environment hazard, for the least environment hazards. Okay, to any entity on Mother Earth by following the agreement, the agreed international framework. Those are the agreement, those are the treaties, those are, so many things are there, so many frameworks are there. Indicator 12.4.1, all multilateral agencies to communicate all the relevant information and to the required level. In fact, everybody should come to know all these things as DG. That is my personal view. Everybody, all the 8 billion people should know the SDG. That is the responsibility of we as a human being, in fact, so that then we can become human, and then we can implement the SDG and then go to Moon, Mars, and beyond. Okay, what is the indicator 12.4.2? Hazardous waste generator per capita, per person, how much hazardous waste is generated. Second is proportion of hazardous waste treated. So, and the kind of treatment. Okay, so what is the kind of treatment for hazardous waste they are adopting? Target 12.5, by 2030, reducing waste generated by recycle and reuse. How much has been reduced? Indicator national recycling rate, tons of material recycled straight away. Next one, target 12.6, encouraging giant companies, multinational companies, international companies, for integrating and implementing and creating the best sustainable practices with, this has to be integrated with what? The information in their reporting cycle to build transparency as well. They have done this to manage this, they have done this to manage this. Either they are following the best practices or they are creating the best practices. Even nations and individuals can influence this. Indicator 12.6.1, number of companies publishing sustainability report. There are companies, for example, IBM or Samsung or Intel or Hindustan Aeronautic Limited or ISRO or NASA, all these people. Target 12.7, public procurement practices should be transparent, sustainable, and national priorities and policies should match the relevant UN framework and agreement during the complete procurement process. Simple. Indicator 12.7.1, degree of sustainable procurement policies and action plans implemented. This is what we are going to do. Procurement will be like this. We will not procure the Euro 4 norms because now Euro 6 norms technology should be adopted. Simple. Target 12.8, building awareness about SDG and lifestyle in harmony with nature by 2030. I already said everybody should know, but frankly speaking, once I went to a graduate college, out of 60 students in one of the class, only 30 to 32 people knew what are the SDG. Others have to go and check the Google, frankly. So if that is the level at graduate level, imagine that this happened in 2017. So now by 5 years, I believe, as you know, my solution master reached to 200 million people, and then other also have United Nations and so many people. There are so many places from so many sources that awareness is increasing. It should, even the KG1 students, kindergartens people should also know sustainable development goals, and then going to moon, Mars, and beyond. That kind of the like this matching is there, then we can go to moon, Mars, and beyond. If everybody knows the aim, where we are going, what we are doing. For example, when USA planned to go to moon, once John F. Kennedy, the president, went to NASA and he asked to the janitor, "So you are cleaning very nice." "Yes, sir, as we are going to moon." That kind of things are required around the world. Everybody is passionate, willing to contribute. That is the thing. So indicator 12.7.1 is degree of sustainable procurement policies and action plans implemented. That kind of passion and devotion is required. Target 12.8, building awareness about SDG and lifestyle in harmony with nature by 2030. Indicator 12.8.1, extent to which this harmony with nature, is built. Again, we are going to see this one. First is global citizenship education as part of curricula, teacher education, and student assessment. Are We are going to be global citizens? So how should we behave? How should we talk? How should we contribute? Everything like that. For student, for teacher, and even the curricula. In all the subjects, in all the relevant places. Education of sustainable development as a mainstream sustainable development curricula, teacher education, and student education. And in the pandemic, this has that this has been impacted, so it needs a course correction. Target 12.8, supporting developing countries by providing technology and know-how and financial help if required for moving towards the achieving sustainable production consumption product patterns. Indicator 12.8.1, renewable energy capability implemented in developing countries in wattage per capita. How much wind energy, how much hydroelectric, how much solar energy wattage per capita is implemented in developing countries. Target 12.b, developing sustainable tourism impact tools calculators for monitoring tourism impact, for monitoring job creation and promoting local culture and products. So it needs the post-pandemic correction because tourism was totally devastated. Indicator 12.b.1, implementing accounting tools to monitor economics of tourism, environmental impact due to tourism, and sustainability of tourism. We need to create the accounting tools, need based and place based. Even it could be particular place based as well. Target 12.c, encouraging zero pollution at the same time, rationalizing fuel subsidies and balancing the economics of the poor and the needy with the reduction of environment plus hazards. It also needs post-pandemic correction. Indicator 12.c.1, amount of fossil fuel subsidies and production and consumption, in fact, per GDP, by GDP. Okay, so finally, we have seen all these SDG 12 targets and indicators. My only request, final request over here is living with nature and living naturally is better than living artificially against the nature, as ultimately our body, made up of tiny elements of Mother Earth, will go back and mix with the whole Mother Earth after our death. Thus, protecting environment is protecting ourselves, because each particle is taken care, and respecting nature is respecting ourselves as well. If we respect Mother Nature, Earth, it means those particles which are going to be mixed with the Mother Earth, we are respecting that as well. We are also respecting the same particles which are of which we are made up of. That kind of trust build up, that kind of harmony with the nature, that kind of respect and that kind of protection is required with the devotion, in fact, by each and everyone on the Mother Earth. Hence, we have to be human. That's all I can say. Thank you very much. If you have any suggestions, kindly let me know. We'll try to make it this presentations still better. Take care. Bye.